What's up, Peace Machine? I'm here with my good friend Stefan Rudolph, aka Coach Stefan Rudolph. Life coach, recovery coach, epilepsy coach, alcoholism coach, helping people overcome addictions and start a new life with what he calls life after lockdown.
Life after lockdown. Thank you, man. It's been good knowing you, good seeing you, good connecting with you, back and forth and back in life, for life, through life, with life, I call it, overcoming those obstacles. And that's what we're here today, to help others overcome everything in life, like I call life after lockdown, right? So we're going with the flow, and great to see you again and connect with you, and helping others out there maintain that positive mindset.
Yeah. Stefan's the man. This is so great that we're doing this interview. This is like full circle, because you're the first person I knew when I came to California.
Yeah,
like 10 years ago.
When he came out here, he was looking for a room, hit me up on Craigslist or whatever the ads were, and we connected as friends, and then, lived there a couple of years maybe, and just shifted and grew.
Yeah.
And what I call the 7-year shift, and helping others in life overcome those obstacles. The 7-year itch in marriage, but I call it the 7-year shift in life. Every 5 to 7 years, we shift and we grow. And
5 to 7.
5 to 7 years.
Why is that?
Because on the outside, people say it's the 7-year itch. You've heard of that? A lot of people have heard of that in marriage. They call it the 7-year itch. So people are out there shifting and growing in life. So the times that I shifted and grew, it was like the teenage years, the areas of meeting my girlfriend at 18, getting married at 25, divorced at 32, homeless at 39, overcoming obstacles. I realized every 5 to 7 years in life, our life shifts, our life grows, and we change.
Okay. Yeah. Here's what happens, all right? When we come into this world, we're born perfect, okay? Because we're in the image of whatever you want to call God, all right? And then what happens to most people, unfortunately, today is you immediately sink on a line. Do it this way. On line graph, you immediately sink. Okay, boom. Because most babies hear the word no, like yelled at them, like 50,000, like 80,000 times by the time they're 5 years old, I think is what I read. Okay. And it's not no, baby, no. Usually it's no! You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just trying to protect you, don't want you to go in the street, okay? Okay, so no, but you're like, no! All right?
Yeah.
And then you go to school, and you lose your creativity in school. Yeah. Because you have to get the one right answer that the teacher wants you to get, even though there's like 100 answers that would answer the question correctly, but you have to get the one right that the teacher wants, and then you lose most of your creativity. You have to sit down, listen, okay, and then your environment takes away most of the rest of your courage. Your environment mainly being the people, your family, okay. No, your family, unfortunately, is probably the most discouraging people in your life.
Yeah, they can.
And they're the ones that also form who you are. Who you are. You become who you are by the time you're like 8 years old, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the shift in life, and that's the growth. And not everybody gets yelled at when they're a kid, but they hear no, and they understand that they can't grow from there. So the area that I say for no is turn it around, turn it on. O-N. Turn on your new life, your positive life. Even when you're 8 years old and you've had all the negative yelled at you, sarcasm, people picking on you. And again, even if you have a perfect life, but there's always never perfect enough. So being able to turn your new life on, that's my point about my books and my shift and my growth, are being able to help other people do the same. And what you see up here is life after lockdown. And I call it that because we've all been through lockdown in 2020, 2021 with COVID and everything else. But the lockdown I talk about is addiction, is recovery, is escapism, and overcoming those reasons why you want to escape, why you don't want to be here. Escapism. That's what you're talking about from being a kid and being told you can't do it. So you get embedded in that area for the first 7 years. The next 7 years, as you go into puberty and you're a teenager, you're affected by that. So growth is limited many times because of what we've told we can't do. And then by the time we're an adult, we can't get out of it.
So
Shouldn't, couldn't, wouldn't.
So it's all about examining your limiting beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you define your limiting beliefs, you can uproot them, and you want to pull it up slowly so you get all the roots, and then throw it in a box and burn it.
Yeah.
And then rebuild yourself into who you want to be.
But the part of rebuilding that's the hardest is not knowing that you have to rebuild. So it's ego versus spirit. Ego versus spirit. And then you have a spirit to rebuild, but then your ego says, you can't do that, you can't be this, you can't, and it talks you down to can't. And then you say, yeah, you're right, and you're stuck in addiction or whatever the obstacles may be in life.
Yeah.
Because you want to reboot, but in between passion and action is a mouthful of excuses. So
Yeah.
the excuses in life bring us down in life. And that's where my book itself...
Action, and passion comes from your heart, and action comes from your head, and your mouth is in the middle.
Well, let me ask you a question. You can do it out there as you're live. Point at yourself right now. So just point at yourself. What do you do? Yeah, you point. You point.
Well, there's 3 fingers pointing back.
No.
How,
Well, the whole point.
How's that going?
No, the whole point. The whole point is though. The point. No pun intended.
Oh, when you point at someone else, there's 3 fingers pointing back.
The
at
point
yourself.
is though. The point is when you're pointing at yourself, you're not doing this. You're not going like this. Most people are going to point right here. And why is
your
why
heart.
Is that? Your heart. You go, well, it's me. It's this is who I am.
Yeah.
So you're pointing
heart.
at yourself. So this is your passion.
Yeah.
So and then you're not just going, well, here I am. But that what you said right there, 3 fingers pointed out, 1 finger pointed in. So I'm sorry, 1 finger pointed out, 3 fingers pointed in.
Yeah.
Yeah, the blame, the excuses, the hardship.
Yeah.
So everything, and I know the reason you brought me here is to tell the story about helping others and overcoming obstacles, because these obstacles that we have from society are go to school, get a degree, go to high school, go to college, get married, get a house, get a white picket fence, and I had everything. I did it by 29. I had it all, and I was in a pharmaceutical career, sold the drugs, made the money, did everything in life, but I wasn't happy. There was something I was drinking for to be happier, and I kept drinking, and a lot of these times it was escapism. That's where that word comes from.
Yeah, okay.
So even if I had it all financially, there's other areas in life, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually.
Yeah.
So I had an A+ in 20% of life financially, but the other 80% I was failing. I was out of shape. I wasn't connected mentally and emotionally, and I wasn't seeing everything connecting in my life. So a lot of obstacles that we have are living to higher standards. The grass is always greener. The houses are always bigger. I want to live here. I want to live there.
No, the grass is always greener on the inside.
Well, that's
it doesn't matter where you go. Your inner world controls your outer world.
But we don't know that when we're controlled by society. That's the point. That's when I was 29, 30, 31, I was controlled by society. We moved 7 times in 10 years because of our promotions when I was married. So we did very well financially, but I'm like, drinking, going, I'm not happy. I'm not happy.
Throwing it all away.
Yeah, throwing it all away and not being able to grow. So what I help people now with, connected to why we're here, is go now and grow now. So leave one past behind. And again, this isn't for everyone, because a lot of people go through life with some obstacles. A lot of people grow through life with some obstacles. But when you have major obstacles, like epilepsy, like addiction, alcoholism.
How long have you been sober?
Sober 13 years coming
13 years, yeah!
October 10th. So
all right!
10-10, yeah. And part of it too, the epilepsy. I had a football injury. I brought my helmet today to show some others too.
The brain injury.
The brain injury, yeah. This is old school.
I had one of those.
Yeah, we had one of those from the 80s.
I had a brain injury, TBI. I had one of those.
Oh, you had one too.
Like a year ago, actually.
Last year, yeah. This is related to football, though, and living with it for 25 years. So I didn't know I still had epilepsy when I first got hit. October 2nd, 1988, playing high school football on Sundays with no helmets. We didn't have helmets on Sundays. We played on Fridays, but I took a severe brain injury. I was in a coma for 3 days. So I lived with epilepsy for 25 years after, but the first few years I didn't know I had it. I had a brain injury. I was on some medication for a month, got off of it, and was a total alcoholic. So the alcoholism too is like I battled alcoholism, epilepsy, and I had my own lockdown. So
what's your shirt say?
Bring it on.
www.thankyou1000.com.
Yeah.
Oh, that's about your book.
Well, hold this. This is about the book itself, but you can read the back. What does that
Oh.
say?
What's your P.I.O.
Bio.
moment?
What's your
bio moment?
bio
Bring it
That's
on.
your
Ah,
biography. That's your-
okay,
that's your
great.
biography.
www.thankyou1000.com.
Yeah, and that's basically
Right.
your bio is, what's your bio moment? My bio moment was overcoming obstacles. My bio moment was overcoming epilepsy, addiction, recovery. My bio moment was being able to understand the command to expand lies in you, through you, for you, with you, so the new you can be born again in life, for life, through life, with life. That's all in here. It's on Audible and Spotify, and all of it is through North County, San Diego here, growing up in the area, and being able to take these pictures, write about my obstacles in life, and not write about myself, because I had a lot of so-called friends in the past that brought me down and said, "Oh, you're writing a book about yourself." It was my old self. So when I put my old self on the shelf, and I said, that's my new self is born. And one of my drinking buddies said, "Oh, you're showing off. I'm like, I'm not showing off. I'm showing up. So a lot of these areas that I came with quotes, and anywhere, just pick a quote right here. What does that say right here?
Choose to act, choose to live, choose to love, choose to grow. That's great.
Yeah, anywhere in this book, people go, wow, it's kind of a big book. I don't know if I can read it. I'm just going to read you a quick paragraph right here. It says, "I saw within me that being the old self grew and a gain of dependence." So when I was in jail, for example, this is where this part is. I saw within me that being the old self, there grew a gain of dependence. Again and again, a gain of dependence on escapism grew and grew. The gain became evident based on my daily need for alcohol combined with money and material items, the bling bling I call it. More and more, all of this growth entailed a never-ending growing need for alcohol daily. This was stunting my growth and ending my life. Yet I didn't know it as I couldn't acknowledge it. So alcohol was diluting my view, because everything I had in a vision in life was diluted by alcohol. So that's how we're connected here in helping others get a message of love out there and to uncover, recover, discover life.
And we didn't have that prepared. We just opened up the book.
Yeah, that I don't go off any
we're on page.
preparation.
I was read from page 99.
Any page, like this is the great part about this book that I do say so about myself in writing this, was you can open up and just read 2 paragraphs a day somewhere, and just say, "Oh, patiently patient." How to breathe.
Yeah.
Show them that right there. that
Turn the
picture.
impatient to I'm patient.
Turn the impatient to I'm patient, the impractical to I'm practical, the imbalanced to I'm balanced, and the impossible to I'm possible.
I'm possible.
Yeah. Breathe, right?
That's
Just
great.
breathe. And I gave my mom that sticker to put on her car horn.
Yeah, I still have the one that you gave me.
Yeah,
too.
right. And so my mom was always honking. I love you, Mom, but you're always honking at people sometimes. So now she sees this breathe on her horn, and it says breathe. So she's about to honk. She goes, "I gotta breathe." There's uncover, recover.
Yeah,
discover life.
I like this one better.
Yeah.
Powerful,
So there's another
beautiful,
quote
wonderful,
in
power,
here.
beauty, wonder. Be
You're
full
powerful.
of
You're
it
beautiful.
all.
You're wonderful. Power, beauty, wonder. Be full of it all every day. You got to be full of yourself, but not in the egoic way, but more in a spiritual way. The spiritual context of starting over in life begins with the new life, the light in life, I call it.
The light and
Because
light.
I found simplistic soulfulness in nothingness.
Yeah, nothing.
No thing, right?
No thing. And everything.
And
no
everything.
thing is everything.
So this is on Audible
Create
and Spotify
space.
as well. You
Create
can listen
space.
to this.
I'm looking for the date that it was published.
Well, it was September. I don't really have. I did my own book, everything. I didn't even publish it like through a
Of
major
this year?
publisher. No, this was a year and a half ago now.
And what year was that?
2023 technically. Like it's almost about 2 years now.
So brand spanking new.
Yeah, and this is Lake Hodges right down the road here, because we're in Oceanside, but this is Escondido. So you saw that front cover.
How do you get the book again?
You can go on Audible or Spotify,
Audible
and
and
you can
Spotify.
download it or just email me. But going back to our topics and the obstacles in life, you've overcome your obstacles and you help others now. And getting these messages out there, I call it life after lockdown, because the addiction of everything, not being happy financially, I ended up with 4 DUIs, jail, institution, homelessness, everything. And by 2012, I said, I'm done. I'm done being done,
Yeah, really. Yes. 2012 was when you turned it around. That wasn't
Well,
that long.
not overnight, too. But I was in jail for 6 weeks. And then when I did the math, 6 weeks is 42 days, right? 6 weeks times 7 is 42 days, 7 days. So I was in there 42 days. And as I was writing my book, I came up with this idea of attitude of gratitude. Hold on to this. Because the area in my life was people were saying F you, F this, F that.
Oh, yeah.
I said turn the F yous into thank yous. And
Yeah.
I was able to say this and understand that the command to expand lies in me, through me, for me, by me, to transform my old self to my new self and say F yous to thank yous. Because people were saying, you can't do that, you can't do that. And I'm like,
Make
F
sure you
you.
put that one sideways.
I was getting angry in life because people were upset at me. But guess what? Those old people didn't want me to change.
Oh, look, website. Let's talk
Yeah.
about that.
Well, real quick, those old people though didn't want me
Oh,
to change.
okay.
Does that you see when people don't want you to change? They want you to drink, they want you to smoke, they want you to
Oh,
use,
yeah.
and they keep holding you back. And they say, "Come on, man, you used to drink with me." I'm like, "Dude, I got 4 DUIs. I got an ankle bracelet on." I go, "I don't want to drink." And then when I got the ankle bracelet off, they said, "Come on, man, those aren't friends. Those aren't people
Yeah.
you want in your life. There's a lot of obstacles in life, and you
Yeah,
have to
really.
overcome them."
Yeah, your environment beats your will over time. So you be
Like
careful.
that.
Your environment, your environment's mainly the people you spend your time with. So you want to be okay. So you want to what you want to live your life is to spend an equal amount of time reaching down to help bring people up. That you spend reaching up to people who have done the things that you want to do. And the important thing is that most people don't get yet right now, unfortunately, okay, a lot of people, like most people are good with reaching down to help other people. They see the benefit in that, okay, because it makes you feel good. It gives you that instant gratification. It makes you feel good right away, okay, but delayed gratification is where it's at. Delayed gratification is where the real growth is, and that comes from reaching up, finding the people who have done what you want to do, and helping them first. Because you want to, not because you're expecting something back in return. You help them from your overflow of time. How can you help them with your extra time? You help people from your overflow, with your overflow of love, because you want to have love for yourself. Enough love so it's bubbling over onto the people around you. You have to love yourself first because you cannot rise above the opinion of yourself. So how high do you want to rise? How much do you like yourself? Is what determines how high you can rise.
See, you're going with the flow, man. We were talking about that before.
Let's talk about your main website, www.recoveredcoaching.com.
Well, under Recovered Coaching, I came up with that name 7-8 years ago in that 7-year shift. And I talked about recovered. So when I was going through AA, I went through AA a lot. And I love Alcoholics Anonymous, NA. If you have to go there and grow there through recovery, I recommend it. But after so many years, when they were saying, you're an alcoholic, I just got done. I was done being done. Guess what? I was recovered. I wasn't going through recovery, I was recovered. So recoveredcoaching.com came up to me like a domain name I should have. And I built that website back in 2018. And from being recovered, I said, I'm no longer having epilepsy, I'm no longer having alcoholism, addiction, I'm not having these obstacles. And epilepsy, real quick on that part, I had the injury in 1988, I lived with epilepsy, I had brain surgery in 2007, and it went away for a while, but guess what? I started drinking again. And when alcoholism came back, the epilepsy returned. I was having delirium tremors, DTs, coming off heavy drinking bouts. I had more seizures from 2008, 9, and 10. I was introduced to Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay.
Love Wayne Dyer. He's my original mentor. Louise Hay, she's
everybody.
great.
And so when I started listening and reading these topics, these authors, I was like, how did they shift and stop alcohol? How did they do that? And they talked about meditation over medication, and I love that quote. And I was like, okay, I'm going to meditate, but I was still drinking. I'm gonna live a healthy life, but I was still drinking. And I kept having seizures for 2 reasons. I would go work out in the morning, I would ride my bike, and then I would go drink at night. And then I would be hungover in the morning, and I'd go ride my bike.
It's like your Wayne Dyer, like he said, I would run 8 miles every day, and then I'd come back and drink a couple drinks, beers.
He would drink 2 wines, and I was inspired by. I saw him 3 times before he passed, and I was like, I saw a mirror image of what I wanted to do. And when he said that, I finally woke up after having a seizure, my last seizure. So get this, brain surgery in 2007. The seizures go away, but a few months later, I started drinking. They came back in 2008. So I had seizures from 2008 until 2011, and my last seizure was on the beach here in Carlsbad. I was running, trying to be fit, hungover, dehydration, missed medication, lack of sleep, that causes seizures. And I had a seizure in my car. Now, I wasn't driving, but I felt an aura. An aura is a small mal or a petite mal or anxiety coming on. And when I had a seizure in my car, like,
what do you mean by small mal?
Instead of a grand mal, instead of the fish, my friend called it, doing the fish, instead of a grand mal, you have small malls. So I might be sitting here, this is what a small mall is, I'm going, and then you see me kind of zone out for 20 seconds, and then I come back and I'm like, what's the matter? You know, I don't even realize like where I'm at. So you don't have a grand mal and fall over. A small mal or a petite mal, it's called, it's just kind of you freeze for a second.
So mal.
Like, look at, what if I was doing this? And you're like, oh my God, what's wrong with that? I'm like, what? And I come out of it, no, you were just shaking. And people would say that. I go, what are you talking about? And I keep talking. Those small malls, people have them a lot and they don't know it. They kind of just black out. It's like you have a seizure, but you don't go, like you don't have a fish seizure, my friend called it.
Okay.
So I had a lot of petite malls and small malls and anxiety. It was the feeling of death, I swear to you. It was like, my anxiety would start here in my stomach, and I would have tingling down my left arm, my right arm. It would get worse. I always said on a scale of 1 to 10, a 1, 2, 3 was like anxiety. A 4, 5, 6 was tingling. A 6, 7, I couldn't talk. And I would make sounds with my mouth, and people would go, are you okay? And I only had probably maybe 10 grand mal seizures in my life. You know, having epilepsy, I was on medication for many years. Grand mal is actually falling down and, having a seizure. It's scary. So the point is, in 2011, after that seizure, after listening to Wayne Dyer, I said, I'm going to meditate. I'm going to do better. I'm going to eat better. And I changed my life mentally and emotionally, but I was still drinking. I ended up in jail October 10th, 2012 for my 4th DUI in 11 years. And I was finally sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I was in jail, and I go, thank you, God. Thank you for this experience of being in jail. And people were like, what are you doing in here? All these cellies and people in jail. I go, I need to be here. I don't want to get out. I didn't even bail out, by the way. I don't know if I told you this part, but
no.
I had an opportunity to bail out for $250 that night.
Oh, wow. That's it?
That's it.
You went just sitting there?
So people may know out there, $2,500 was the bail, but if you pay 10%, you can get out.
Okay.
And I had that money in my bank, and I go, thank you. I need to be here, though, for a weekend. I thought, I just want to get scared straight. Okay. So I stayed there, and I was like in a cell here, but it wasn't bad. It was in county versus state prison, and I was in county jail. So I go, okay. A couple days go by, I sober up, and I go, I want to get out of here. I'm going to bail out now. And they ran my record. You know what happened?
What?
DUI, 2002, 2005, 2008, and then I was looking at my 4th. My bail went up to $75,000. $75,000.
Yeah, just come up with $7,500.
Yeah,
so now you're stuck in jail.
I go, I don't have that.
Oh man.
And my mom was calling me. I was calling her from jail. And she goes, I'm gonna help you. And I go, I don't want any help. And I go, I have to be here. And I love you, Mom, but it was codependency that was trying to help people get out of it. I'll bail you out. I'll help you out. You know what? If I went out, I knew I was gonna drink. That's how bad of an alcoholic I was.
Wow.
From a DUI that night, I knew if I got out, I would go right to the bars.
Yeah.
I would drive, which I did in 2008. I would go to the bars. I would drive on a suspended license. I was drunk driving on a suspended license with no insurance sometimes. Wow. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So when I woke up in jail, I said, thank you. And 6 weeks went by. 6 weeks, 42 days. 42 days times 24 hours is 1,008 hours.
1,008.
So that's where I came up with the 1,000. Thank you to the 1,000 power. I kept saying thank you. Thank you for being in jail. Thank you for divorce. Thank you for epilepsy. Thank you for brain surgery. Thank you for everything, God. Thank you. F-U's, thank you.
You know that 81 is Wayne Dyer's favorite number, and it's mine now, too. Do you know why 81 is Wayne Dyer's?
8 plus 1 is 9, and 9 is infinity?
No, it's because 8 is a symbol for infinity for all of us, everybody, and 1 means each of us.
Okay.
We are one love. And there's 81 verses in the Tao. It's pronounced with a D. It's spelled with a T. In the Tao Te Ching. There's 81 verses in the Tao Te Ching.
Yeah.
And Wayne Dyer doesn't think he doesn't think that's a coincidence. They did that on purpose. And 18 pops up all over the place. You flip it around. It works for 18 too. The difference is all of us are I am everybody. Okay, so if everybody is me, I am everybody. We are one. It's the same thing. There's 18 holes in golf. 18. I don't know. He gave a bunch
Well,
of
the
other
number that I
examples.
like when Wayne Dyer introduced this to me was also adding numbers up. Okay, 81 is 8 plus 1 equals 9. Did you know that 9 times any number broken down in the answer is 9? So let's give an example. 9 times 3 is 27. What is 2 plus 7? 9. And 9 times 9, 81.
Oh, yeah.
8 plus 1 is 9. Any number. You times
Wow.
this huge number. 9 times 11 is 99. 9 plus 9 is 18. 8 plus 1 is 9.
Well, the reason I brought up the 8 and the 1 is because the first thing you said was 1008.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
42
Oh, I
times.
see. I never thought of that. You know why I
Okay.
said 1008 too? Because it was 4 hours getting checked into jail, probably 3 or 4 hours. I didn't have an exact date. I was drunk that night, but and then it takes about 3 or 4 hours to get out. So it's kind of funny that my exact time was 1008, and I always just said, well, let's just round it off. But now you're making more sense. It says 1008, 8 plus 1.
Yeah.
I never saw it that way. So
Okay.
we go like that, right?
All right. So
And
next,
also,
before we move on to another book,
Yeah.
I want to
Recovered
let's get to
coaching.
another book later. Okay.
Recovered
So next
coaching.
thing it says in here is speaking information. www.motivationalspeaking for the word for FOR
Yeah.
growth.com. Speaking
this
information.
is-
www.motivationalspeakingforgrowth.com.
You can just look up epilepsy speaking events. If you Google epilepsy speaking, I come up on there. The website, like you're saying here, is motivationalspeakingforgrowth.com, but it's under recovered coaching. In general, we'll have some links below, I'm sure, but motivational speaking for growth. So I speak at schools, businesses, different things to help people.
Yeah, you did a
And
TED Talk.
A TED Talk. I was on TEDx a year and a half ago now. So TEDx was real big because it was in my hometown of Escondido, and this is I don't have it, but it's just Google epilepsy TED Talk, and you'll see me come up on there.
Yeah.
So I did a TEDx event, and a lot of it was motivated by my story. And the funniest thing is, it was at a high school, so a lot of the speakers were younger, juniors, seniors, 18, 19. They all had to script. They had a script that they had to read. Like right here, people were reading. When I got up there, one kid goes, "Where's your script? Where's your teleprompter?" I go, "It's right here, man. I lived it." And I told him, he goes, "Wow, you know everything?" I go, "We're just talking like this.
Yeah.
You don't have to, I can tell you, I went through epilepsy, I went through addiction."
Yeah.
And I talked about my story in 16 minutes. That's how TEDx is. And then you're off the stage.
Okay.
And I used this helmet. I got up there, and the way I started my TEDx was to say, I put the helmet out like this, and I got in a 3-point stance. That's the way I started my TEDx. I got in a 3-point stance, and I said, and I was tackling my friend, and my friend kneed me in the head, because it was football. And I woke up 3 days later, and my life had changed forever. Because initially, I was going to be, I wanted to be in the Army, or I wanted to be a cop or an officer. Everybody said, "Oh, you look like a cop." So I thought it was going to be, but I had epilepsy now. So if you have epilepsy, you can't get in the Navy, the Army. You can't be a cop. You have epilepsy. You can't drink. You have epilepsy. That's what told me. Well, I'm going to drink. You can't do this. You have epilepsy. Yeah, everything was like, I'll show you. I'll show you. I wanted to prove people wrong.
Yeah.
And that's, again, going back to this connection here is where I help people lessen the ego and grow the passion. So we all have ego. We have up here mind, do this, do that, money, 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 bling, bling, bling. But I had to say, hey, what's your passion, and help others find their passion.
Yeah, your passion comes from your heart.
Yeah.
That's okay. Well, I guess that's a good intro to that.
Living
But
with heart.
Actually, before we get to living with heart,
Well, we talked about thank you to the 1,000th power. That's what
yeah,
this is. And
personal
CSR.
growth coaching packet info. www.csr101.com.
Well, that's an old one. Sorry.
Oh, it doesn't work
yeah,
anymore?
It works. It's not a big deal. But just the main things here are my coaching pack. The coaching programs that I have, the speaking, the book. All this is online here, and turning the FUs to thank yous. We can close by just randomly picking this up and saying,
You just flipped a random page.
just random, 136. It says, "This became a huge step in personal awareness, self-development, and personal growth. This is what I learned in the school of hard knocks. This is what I learned in jail. I grew personally by now understanding that the outcome of our destiny is based on our beliefs, of which fuel our actions. When living off a belief system of blaming others for our outcome, our destiny of failure shall never change. Beliefs of what will happen to us become our daily life."
Great.
So
Yeah.
we've all gone through that, right? Like if
What
bad
do you believe?
relationships.
It's more than what you believe. It's what you know.
Okay.
It's what you know. Okay. It's more than believe, okay? It's when your mind, your heart, and your gut are all saying the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you know. You can be pretty sure that that's the right choice when your mind, your heart, and your gut are all saying the same thing.
Right. I like that.
Okay, so now what's
But
up with
this
living
even
with
came
heart?
before, though. This is my first book from 2016. So
Okay.
we talked about Thank You to the 1000th Power because I was inspired by Les Brown. I was inspired by authors like Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay, all these authors, and I thought I want to be. In 2015, I started, visualizing this. I started writing.
Yeah, this is a great book.
And
I
he's
read
this. This is co-authored with Les Brown.
This is all.
And in
this is a great book,
2015,
too.
this came out in 2017. You can show them.
Living with Heart.
Living with Heart. I have copies that I can.
Wellness
mail you.
from the inside out.
So this is 12 authors with 12 different stories, wellness from the inside out. But I'll tell you about visualization here, Mr. Johnny Be Good, because what you think about, you bring about, and you visualize it. And Les Brown was a huge influence in my life. And I was listening to him all the time going, you can do it. If you can look up, you can get up. Things like that.
Yeah, when you fall on your back,
fall on your
because
back,
if you can look up, then you can get up.
And I said,
shoot for the moon, because even if you miss, you'll land among the stars.
you know it all.
Yeah, I know Les Brown. Les Brown's great.
And there he is.
It's not over until you win.
And because he said that in 2015, all of a sudden 2 years later, I got co-authored with him. Now, ego-wise, in my mind, I thought, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to sell books. I'm going to grow my business. So I got an office. Remember, I had an office in Oceanside, and I didn't sell that many books. I mean, I did well, but it wasn't a millionaire. And I realized my ego was in charge a lot of bling bling again. Bling bling. I want this.
Yeah,
and I had to settle my ego and not worry, but I needed to focus on who this was helping, because I started getting comments back like, hey, great story. I love it. I have epilepsy too. Epilepsy life coaching, if you just Google it, I come up number 2 or 3 in the world. But there's a lot of people that have epilepsy that want to hear a different path besides prescriptions, besides drugs, besides, oh, you had a seizure, go to the doctor, and they prescribe something else. Guess what? I say, what'd you eat? What'd you drink? And people are like, what are you talking about? Well, did you have a soda? Did you get sleep? Did you miss your medication? Did you have fast food? And people go, yeah, I had Taco Bell last night. Why does that matter? Because what you eat is what you become. Nutrition in life. Now it's quiet. Hear that? The surrounding, now we hear a seagull back there talking about things.
On the subject, can I comment on what you eat is what you become?
Yeah.
Because your brain is the best, let me have this.
Yeah.
Your brain is the best pharmacy in the world.
Yep.
Okay? The way, my main mentor right now is Peter Sage, and the way he puts it is, I'm trying to think, over chemistry. Frequency over chemistry. Frequency beats chemistry. And what is your frequency? Your frequency, by the way, before you get off the topic of Les Brown, I wanted to say my favorite Les Brown quote is, there's greatness in you.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody has greatness within them. You just have to find it and bring it out, okay? Now I'm going to get back to frequency over chemistry. Stefan was talking about what you eat. You are what you eat, okay? Your frequency means how you're vibrating, your energy level, okay? Your frequency. You attract the people who are on the same frequency as you. And it's all about what you know that you are. And you can beat anything by having the right thoughts and the right feelings. Like, one of my favorite people, Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Yeah.
He got run over when he was in a marathon, got dragged for a while, and all the doctors were talking about how you have to get surgery and have all this metal in your back or you're never going to function again. And he's like, he was already a well-respected chiropractor, and he was getting into meditation because, when you read, he was a very educated man, and when you read about how great meditation is, hundreds of times you start to believe it and you start to do it. So he's like, you know what, I'm going to get into meditation too. So, and he's like, you know what, I'm not going to get the surgery. I'm going to go in my pool and have the right thoughts, do exercises in my pool. And he healed his back with the right thoughts. Okay, you're rebuilding yourself. You're in a cellular level. You're new. Like, Like, how's it go? Like, every few months, you're like every cell?
Every 7 years. That's another 7 year shift. They say every 5 to 7 years, all your cells in your body change completely. We are not the same body that we came from. I have a quote that says, "There's no body like your body. You're not just somebody. You're not just anybody. You're not a nobody. You're the one body that matters most." And that's in here too. So the body, though, changes every 5 to 7 years. The cellular things that we have now in us are all changed. So it's pretty interesting how we grow, but our mind sometimes keeps us as a kid or as a teenager. We have a lot of inner, what's it called? Inner child, the inner wounds.
Okay.
You know, we have triggers. And what you said earlier was a good part about sometimes things happen and you know, everything happens for a reason. But when the shit happens, we're like, oh God, why did that guy cut me off? Oh, I got in an accident. This happened for a reason. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then but that's the ego bringing you back down. And so my next book in this connection that I'm writing actually right now is connected to chapter 7, and the book is going to be called How to Turn the FUs to Thank Yous, and that's all my chapter 7 is about. It's going to be condensed into a smaller book. So when somebody cuts you off, I want you to say thank you. When somebody bumps into you in the store, oh, thank you. And right, did you notice we were putting our phones together, putting some cameras up, and I dropped my phone this morning, and immediately, though, I've been programmed for 2 years now. My phone, just to say my phone is like this, and I go, oh, thank you. People were like, and I play a lot of racquetball competitively, and when I skip it or I miss, thank you. And they're like, what's wrong with that guy? Isn't that weird? Like, society would expect you to go, God, pissed off, and then somebody bumps into me, thank you. And they're like, it doesn't process right.
Are you saying it right, though?
Yeah, but I'm saying it kind of anger because, there's an anger. Think about why we say F in bad words. You know why? Because when we see our parents growing up and they stub their toe and they go, and they say blah, 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 all the negative. So we as kids go, shit, and we say a bad word and they go, and then like you said in the beginning, they get spanked. Yeah. But we say that because we are programmed to say the S word, F word, A word, whatever the words are. Oh, you're an addict because you cut me off. Well, next time you get cut off out there, why not say thank you? And you feel weird about it. You go, thank you for cutting me off, but you probably know a lot about this too. You talk about this, I know. Your anger goes, and you push it down with gratitude. Yeah. And you push it down with gratitude. Yeah. Ego, when we have stress, anxiety, isn't it right here usually? It's right here.
Yeah.
You feel like, oh, there's that guy. I hate that guy. I hate that friend. There's my ex. And then you go, thank you. Thank you 1,000 times. Thank you. It's kind of weird to say, but the weird turns to wired. So I started seeing weird, as a wired. It's the same letters, but it spells wired. So we have to wire ourselves differently. Yeah. So the words.
That's great. I love that.
You like that?
Yeah. All right. So who else is in this book?
We go through this, and there's, real quick, the chapters are about.
Who else is in Living with Heart?
Stefan and Les Brown. Stefan. So we talk about food. We talk about superfoods. There's PMS. Chapter 4 is Ditch Your Mr. Hyde by Dr. V.J. Nielsen. Thank you, way to gratitude. Gut check. Yeah, just different ways to transcend your life right here. Health and wellness. I'm going to turn to my book.
Well, who are the other authors?
Well, they're not big names, but we can just say they're just, there's Lauren Loreno, sorry. And that's it. She was a good friend back then. I haven't seen her in a few years, but Les Brown.
Didn't you do some work with that guy from John Assaraf or something?
Yeah,
like that?
John, but he's not in this.
What did you do with him?
Well, real quick, the point on the gratitude part, this is about telling the story of waking up from an accident. Belief in gratitude will shift your attitude. Belief in gratitude will shift your attitude.
Yeah, that's great.
So it was just a short, that's it, 7 pages in here. Yeah. But every chapter in here, like Candace Marley right here, your heart engine, the center of health. So she talks about what we're talking about here.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in this book.
Yeah, a lot of good short stories about eating, about
exercises and stuff you can do.
An ounce of prevention.
So how do you get this book?
You can just contact me. Heart. I can mail it out. I have a lot of copies of this. I can mail it to you. I don't have it on.
How do you want people to contact?
Oh, right here. We'll have a link below in your Facebook. Just Google Coach Stefan Rudolph.
This is only going to be on Facebook for 30 days. It's going to be it's on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have links below then on YouTube. But thank you 1,000. Just Google Coach Stefan Rudolph, and you can contact me.
Yeah.
And you want to hear? You want to hear the irony then of my phone number? I don't mind giving it out because people call me and text me all the time.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
I don't mind it. No, I give it. It's all over the internet. 760-215-2337. I'm telling you this why because I got this 15 years ago, and later, a couple years into my drinking, somebody said, Google, what does it spell, man? What's your phone number spell? You know, everybody had it. Mine spells 215 beer.
Okay.
I did not pay for that. I was drinking and partying, 760-215 beer. Now,
once you blow up, you're probably going to get another number.
No, not at all. I've had it for 20 years, and my gratitude is like what I used to drink about, now I think about, and I process into positive growth.
Okay,
so if anybody,
when I blow up, you're probably going to want to get another number then, because you're getting calls all the time.
I'll have my work number, 215 beer, but yeah, this is what changed my life, was meditation over medication. And ironically, when I worked in the pharmaceutical industry, I sold the drugs, all the drugs that I used to sell, antidepressants, blood thinners, sleep medication, I ended up on later in life. And so I sold them 1 year, I ended up on them 5 years later, I got off them 5 years later. That 5 to 7 year shift was happening, and then I wrote this book about health and wellness, and that's it, growing and growing.
Okay, so moving on to the next book here.
This was just a quick book. Now it's about life coaching and recovery coaching.
It's called The Power of Life Coaching, Volume 4. Is there 3 other volumes?
There's more authors in this.
There's lots of authors.
Yeah, there's lots of authors in this, and I have my friend,
20 authors.
My good friend Barbara Wainwright, who does coaching. Yeah, and she has a coaching program, and that's what Wainwright Global is. So I was offered this opportunity to get in here, and it's just a lot of good stories about how people became a life coach, how they became whatever coach they are. You'll hear life coach, relationship coach, about recovery coach. How often do you hear epilepsy coach? You know, I'm coaching people with epilepsy to have more of a positive attitude,
good niche,
and also a positive mindset and health focus in life.
Okay, so this book is called The Power of Life Coaching, Manifesting Transformation in Financial, Professional, Emotional, Spiritual, Wellness, and Relationship Aspects. It says Barbara Wainwright. I guess she's the main author at the bottom.
Yeah, she's the main author of the coaching program. All these coaches are in her program, so we have a lot of gifted coaches that just bring all their stories to life in here.
So how do people get this book?
Contact me again. It's right. You'll just have to reach out. We don't have, it's not a big book shipping company I have. Just reach out personally and ask me for a copy, and we'll chat, and I'll ship it to you.
Okay, now take the microphone and talk about Barstool Knowledge for a bit.
Microphone check 1 2. This is a power of visualization that Wayne Dyer taught me. Now this is an old kind of ratty book. You can see I actually taped that picture. I printed that picture out, I cut it out, and I taped it, because Wayne Dyer said for every book that he had, he visualized it before. Now there are notes, but you can show like, this is what the book looks like. There's nothing in there. So what Wayne Dyer said was he would do this for all his books, and he would visualize the book. Now this book,
I remember him say that.
Yeah, and he inspired me to do this. But so this book is the first book that came to me in 1997 when I lost a good friend from a DUI accident. A high school friend was in a DUI accident, died in 1997, March 22nd. And I always was inspired for many years to write a book about this. And I didn't do it, though, until I sobered up, many years later, almost like 15 years later. And I wrote this about 5 years ago now. And when I wrote it, I was writing about different things that had happened in my life, but also why I became an alcoholic, why I became addicted. And the reason, in short, what the story is about, when I went to Chico State, which was the #1 party school in the nation back in the 90s, and my mentor was John Belushi from Animal House, and I was drinking and partying, and I love it. This old man kept seeing me in a Chico bar up there, and I say old because I was probably 21, 22, he was 30, he was in his early 30s. He looked kind of old and ratty, and he was always at the bar, just kind of like looking for a free beer, like sitting around like a half a beer, he'd take it and he'd pour it in his and drink it, like if somebody left. And I thought, this guy's a loser, man. And I just kept seeing him every time. I kind of felt bad, and I'd fill up his beer once in a while. Going, hey, here you go. Well, one night, he looked at me getting sauced out there. I call it sauce, like I was getting pretty ripped, and I was ordering another pitcher for the friends. And he looked at me, and I poured him a beer. He goes, thanks, man, but I got a concern. He looked at me, concerned about what? He goes, dude, you're going to be like me. And I go, what are you talking about? I couldn't believe he said that. He pointed at the bar mirror. I'll never forget this. We're sitting at the bar, so when you look in the bar mirror, he goes, you're going to end up just like me. And I was all quiet. I go, what? He goes, I was here 10 years ago. I was here drinking, and you're here every night, dude. You have a problem. So this is where barstool knowledge comes in. I just totally denied that. I go, you're stupid. I filled him up, left, came back half hour later, got some more, filled him up. But then he started talking about his life and how he was married and how he was successful and how he got a DUI and how he lost everything. And I didn't, at the time I was in college, I was doing okay in life, and I couldn't accept that. I go, no, I'm not an alcoholic. I don't have a problem. Guess what happened? That night I go home, it's after 2 a.m. and we had a keg in our fridge, okay, because we put kegs and we drink them, we put them in our fridge. And I'm like, I need another beer at 2 a.m.
Kegerator.
It wasn't even a kegerator, it was just a keg we shoved in our fridge.
Oh,
yeah, we made it fit. We took all the shelves out and put it in our fridge.
All right.
And the keg was empty. So originally this book was going to be called When the Keg Runs Dry.
Okay.
Because I realized what he said that night. 3 hours later, what I realized that night was I have an addiction problem. I wanted to go to the liquor store and get more beer, but they were closed in California. They closed at 2 a.m. I wanted to get a beer and I couldn't. All of a sudden I was like, Jonesing is called, like, oh my gosh, I need a beer. I go, maybe I am an alcoholic. I was like, that guy at the bar was right. And I realized, I'm an alcoholic. And then it just stuck with me. It didn't. That's why I wrote this later. It's a short story about realizing your addiction or your problems and facing them first. I went another 15 years before, more than that even, before I sobered up. I went almost like 19 years before sobering up. So that was my point about barstool knowledge, and I will have this published here within the next year. So,
I was thinking about the word knowledge last night, and if you take the first half of the word knowledge, it's know. And then if you take out the K, it says now. And then if you take out the W, it says no. So then when you put it all together, it says knowledge. Wait, let me see. Okay, know, now, know, ledge.
The ledge.
Know,
yeah.
now, know, ledge.
If you know now what you need to know now and grow now, you will avoid the ledge in life to jump over in life. And so the ledge in life became almost like drinking and suicide. And so know now. We're just kind of
The
breaking
way I
it
say
down.
it is know now, know ledge. What I came up with is when you know ledge, it's because you're flying, you're taking off, you've taken off. So
I like that. The opportunity in life grows, huh?
yeah.
But look at all these related
And
quotes.
when you're taking off, 75% of the fuel is used on the takeoff.
Yeah.
And then you can go as far through space as you want.
You know what they say at the gym too? 80% is showing up.
Yeah.
Show up. 90% is showing up. We did this. We showed up. So that's very much related to the knowledge. Now look at this part too. When everybody out there listens and learns about journaling and taking notes, and this is what I started doing about 2 years ago. I just started journaling in this blank book. But then I look back and I don't remember writing this, but look at the long road of the journey in finding the true new you is the long road of journey of forgiveness.
Yeah, forgiveness. You do that for yourself.
What you serve out in life, you receive back in life. So these are just quotes I started writing down. Fear is not out here, point on the outside. Fear isn't here. It's on the inside. It's in our mind. And I realized the future is anxiety, the past is depression, and we have to live here and not fear. So look at love. You like doing this too. Listen, observe, validate, explore.
That's great.
That's love. I think I heard that somewhere, so I'm not taking credit. But I did stuff like this. Engage. Gratitude, attitude, growth, evolution. Let's engage. Gratitude starts with attitude, awareness, and change. So and the point being here is take your own notes, take your own journaling, have a diary, do things in life. It really helps to fuel yourself to not be the victim, but be the victor. That's what it says right here too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of this stuff is all connected. You can be healthy as well.
And all this is going to be in your new book, Barstool Knowledge.
It's kind of connected to accepting when someone says, dude, I think you have a problem. You're drinking 8 beers a day. And you're like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. And it's okay. Yeah. Barstool Knowledge will help people go now and grow now.
So when are you expecting that to be available?
Well, there's 2 points. This is right now I'm working on the 7 steps to turn the FUs to thank yous.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to be. That's the book right now. And I'm going to finish that. I gotta be held accountable. Maybe you be my accountability partner. So by 11/11,
Okay.
November 11th, I'll be done. That just sounds like a
Well,
good date that came to mind.
I don't think I think it's okay to set time frames, but I wouldn't announce them to anybody because then you're putting too much pressure on yourself.
No, I just want to.
And if it doesn't happen that way, you know, it's because there's a better way that you haven't figured out yet.
But sometimes I have to be held accountable, and it's not saying publish it by 11/11. Just finish it. Like
Okay.
I can do it. It's already written.
Yeah, you just keep. I think you keep the time frame to yourself, and if it doesn't happen, then it's no big deal. It's because there's a better way.
Yes. Now we're
Okay.
out there, though. I mean, it's
Yeah.
all out there because here,
Yeah.
hold this. This is
Okay.
what I developed too, and you can order these online or just hit me up. This is for your cell phone. The back of your cell phone
Oh,
will give you
yeah.
this. I think I showed this to you. But if
Yeah.
you want to show it up there on the camera,
Sure.
it says turn the FUs to thank yous. So
Yeah.
you put that on the back of your cell phone, and your finger goes through that. If you have an upside down FU, you turn it to thank you. So you turn the FUs in life to thank yous in life, and you shift your way to gratitude. The attitude of gratitude for everything. You have to age well. AGE is attitude of gratitude for everything. You have to turn the page in life. The positive attitude of gratitude for everything. PAGE. Turn the FUs to thank you. So when you put this on your phone and you're getting your phone on, you're like, okay, thank you. Thank you. I'll give this to you too. You just peel that off and put thank you and go, hey man, thank you. Hey, hello?
Yeah. That's
So
great.
That's the idea and the concept behind creating your new bio. You know, you bring it on. Okay, thank you for the obstacles. Thank you for the hardship. Thank you for falling down. If I can look up, I can get up. Right, Les Brown.
Yeah. So how do you go about publishing a book?
Great question. I kind of got in a zone. It's called lockdown.
I mean, there's a different story for each one, right?
Well, you know what I did in 2020. I started this book in 2018 actually, but I just wrote a little bit. I wrote like the chapter outlines, and I didn't know. And then a month went by, and I never even wrote. 2 months went by. I wrote a little bit more. Then a month. So I wasn't really structured. I would say have a structure. And when I wrote the chapters out finally, and I just named the chapters, I was like, that's what I want to write about. So from 2020 to 2022 in lockdown, every day after work, I went home to my RV at the time, and I'm writing in my spiritual sanctuary, I call it. I wrote like an hour to 2 hours to 3 hours. I was writing all weekend. I was just in such a zone. It wasn't work. It was passion. And then I couldn't, when I was reading, trying to make it come out right, I would say, I was writing, I was typing, right? And I would say, no normal should be lived like this. Or I had to start doing audio. I had to start reading it to myself. That's how it ended up on Audible.
Audible.
Yeah, so for 2 years, to go back to your question.
Okay, Audible's a good way to do it.
The way I did it, no, personally, I had to hear it in order to see it, in order to write it. So when I would read it back to myself, so I would type all this, and I would say, you know, I would ask myself and even smell the sheets to confirm. This was kind of a topic about being drunk and sweating out. Anyways, I would.
Is this the only book you have on Audible?
Yes,
Thank you
it's
to
the
the
only
1000.
Only book. You can show that picture to them too. That was me 13 years ago in jail.
That's okay. I'm not going to show it.
Well, it's not a bad picture. We'll show it from here.
All right.
A so-called friend that we know, that guy, came in and he visited me in jail, and I'm sitting there between a glass cell right here with a phone, waiting to talk to my friends. And that guy, D, you know, he came up and he goes, "Hey, smile," and he took a picture of me in jail. And I go,
"Oh yeah."
And so right there, that was the biggest FU moment I had to say, "FU, what are you doing?" I was so mad at him, but look I put the picture in my book.
Yeah,
so I turned the negative in life to positive.
I want to know how did you get it on Audible though?
You just go to Audible. Just look up Coach Stefan Rudolph. Just Google Coach Stefan Rudolph, or you go to Audible and type in "thank you."
No, my question is, how does a person publish a book to put it on Audible?
Yeah, I went through an Audible company that was able to help me do the work. I paid them like $500 and they got me.
Oh, okay.
They took the steps. Or you can just Google it, or these days ChatGPT, and it'll give you steps to go to Audible and you submit it. But every time I was submitting it, they said, no, this has to change, and they had a lot of rules. So I paid a company, you know, like it was about $500 to edit it properly, to tell me what to do, and then I submitted it.
Yeah.
So there's different steps that, you know, I can help with, or different companies can help with.
Okay.
For Audible and Spotify. It was submitted to them. It was approved, and now it's on there.
So you could help people also. Additional services that you have is to help them publish a book, or to help them with any other kind of networking or social media.
Online marketing, I do that too for coaches and
like
everything.
Social media
Social
growth,
media, everything.
all kinds of stuff. So Stefan is a man of many. So he can help everybody. Wait, my wind All right. That means it's time to wrap this up. Do you have any final thoughts?
The wrapping in life of the present in life is actually when you unwrap the present moment of the present. So you're unwrapping a present, but it's actually the present moment of present. So that's the same word, but you're in the present moment of now. The new present in life is unwrapped by living in the now. Like that. I just came up with that.
Great.
It just flows.
Yeah,
and then now,
genius.
a genius spiritually that we all have, the connectivity. There's no more alcohol to dilute, excuses. I say excuse the excuses out of your life.
Freestyling knowledge.
Freestyling knowledge. Knowledge reigns supreme over nearly everyone. KRS-One. KRS-One from back in the day.
Yeah, really.
I used to listen to rap growing up, but it was always the positive rap of positivity, gang stuff.
That's great.
No, that's about it.
All right. Well, this has
now,
been great.
Now.
All right. Now
I'm going to put this on you, and you're going to...
What are my final
I'm just kidding.
words? My final words is thank you for this interview, Coach Stefan Rudolph. You the man.
We'll do this, and we'll go like this and go...
All right. Till next time,
go now
enjoy
and grow
life.
Now.
Go, what was that?
Go now and grow now.
Go now, grow now.
Turn the FUs to thank yous.
And always remember to enjoy life. That's why we're here.
Enjoy, enjoy.
Peace.